We are ready and waiting. No, we're live. Welcome.
I was live
to
before you were live.
Yeah, are you older than me, Timothy?
Well, no, it's just funny
I
because
don't know
my
if
thing
you are.
went live. My thing went live, and then it took about 6 seconds for you to go live. So, yeah, I think in all appearances, I'm older.
I don't know. Okay, so
wooden.
welcome. You're what?
More wooden.
More woodened. Welcome to Real Life Talk, where we cover tough topics for today's times, and we focus on love, life, and relationships. So if you're here for the first time, welcome. If you're one of our regulars, we so appreciate you being here. Just a reminder that we are streaming live on Facebook, and you can talk with us in the comments. Please do. My name is Heidi Love, and I am one of your hosts for Real Life Talk. And tonight we will be talking about wood.
What did we talk about last week? It was water. We're going to cover all the elements, but we're covering them as they relate to relating. My name's Timothy Earl. I'm on the island of Maui. Heidi, with the fish behind her head, she's on the big island. We are both love coaches with Love Coach Academy, as well as practicing coaches. And we do love hearing from you. If you want to reach out to one of us, you can find us through lovecoachacademy.com or through our websites, which will scroll across the bottom shortly.
So I wanted to let you guys know that we love teaching, and we've been doing this class, which we just changed the name of, but we've been doing this almost a year, started with COVID. So we changed the name to Real Life Talk so we can broaden the topics. And of course, we'll be still talking about recovery. But I wanted to put out there that if you're receiving value, a wonderful thing to do is give back. How can you give back to us? You can give back to us by playing with us in the comments. We love that. We love your participation. That's a way for you to give back to us. Another way to give back is to share this talk. If you find it valuable and you think it'd be valuable for a friend, or put it on your page, like share about us. That is also a way to contribute. And another way to contribute is if you're wanting free support and you're willing to stream live, you can reach out to Timothy or I, and we can give you a double-decker session between both Timothy and I, and you can be live right on our talk on a Tuesday. So reach out to us and you can learn about that.
In addition to that, you can join the Wednesday empathy practice group that Love Coach Academy hosts every Wednesday. And that's simple. That's really about practicing empathy, but it is an opportunity to share what's going on in your life and receive empathy from others, or give empathy. And if you want to know more about that, look at lovecoachacademy.com or reach out to Heidi and I, and we'd be glad to tell you more about it.
And what inspires me to do this work at all, or one of the things I'll just share, kind of my inner vision, is that there's a lot of big global problems, and I don't focus on those. But I think that the things that I teach and that Timothy teaches, and that us working on ourselves, we can change the dynamic within our own little atmosphere, and then we can take it into our homes, and by modeling it, practicing empathy, having better communication, some of the things that we value in these teachings, we can impact our families. And when you're impacted and you're in a loving situation and things are good at home, you're better at work. And when you're better at work, that trickles into the community. And when the community is better, it ends up to be global. And so it is a global vision that I have, that more people have these skills, and that's why I'm here.
Changing the world, one relationship or one family at a time. It's so good. I was working with a family. We just finished a package of 6 sessions. Wow, so amazing to bring people new tools that they didn't know existed and help them have a transformation so that they can get a taste of it. And now they'll work on that. They'll work on the 3 things that we worked on. And then eventually, if they want to, they'll come back. So please, if you want to grow or expand, ask for help, do a workshop, work with us, do something. There is a lot of assistance to help make your life, your family's life, our lives, the world, a better place. I love it. Keep going, Heidi.
Good. I'm trying to find your website there, Timothy. All right. So both our websites will be scrolling up across the bottom. That's how you can get a hold of us. So we're going to dive into the wood element. I'm not going to give a whole overview of the elements or repatterning. If you missed that, it's in last week's call. Check it out. It's just in the beginning. But basically, in a nutshell, we all have every element within us. And so a lot of people ask for balance. Balance is a buzzword I hear from everybody. We want more balance. You know, it's something most of us want in our life. When we are out of balance in our being, inside and outside our being, we are affected emotionally, physically, relationally. And so by looking at our elements, it's one way to bring balance to our world, to our inner world and to our external world, meaning our small world, not the big world. And the wood element, which we'll be focusing on today, has to do with anger. It's where we hold our anger. It has to do with willpower or lack thereof. It has to do with drive, ambition, and meeting our goals. So who has had a goal and has not achieved it and feels hopeless or resentful about it? Ding, ding, ding. So just put a yes in the comment box if you have had that experience yourself. So when the wood element is balanced, we have positive decision making, creative self-expression. We have great self-esteem that comes natural from being in touch with our own uniqueness. So really knowing ourselves and embracing ourselves, not trying to be somebody else or what other people think they want us to be, but truly embracing who we are and coming from that place that we know that whether we're a violet or we're an oak tree, that is what we're supposed to be, and living into that the best that we can and embracing. I love the word embrace lately, embracing ourselves. It also, the wood element gives us the ability to meet unplanned, unexpected events. So they can be serendipitous or they can be what we perceive as obstacles. And instead of looking at them as obstacles, we get excited about them, looking at, okay, this could take me to even a better place than I had planned. Because often with goals, one of the mistakes I see us make is that we set a goal and then we have a very rigid plan of how that should lay out. And that happens in relationship. We have an imagined relationship and then it has to go exactly this way to meet that vision. And if it doesn't, it's just devastating. And so this is really resonating with having the end goal or the vision, aligning with the actions, but also allowing the universe to give us unplanned, unexpected events and better outcomes than we can ever imagine. If you want a piece of that, stay on the talk today.
Will you do my taxes for me?
Thank you for asking for help. I help both my kids do their taxes. I suppose I could help you too, Timothy.
It may be above. I have, fortunately, I do have a tax person, but I just need someone to help me get the information to him. So when you were speaking about a goal and feeling thwarted and resentful and creating stories, yeah, I can do that with taxes every year.
Yeah. I love what you just said. I mean, that's a tip for everyone. I work better when I have an accountability buddy. It's just been true for me. So that's something I know about myself. So there's a tip for you. If you're having a hard time doing something, get an accountability buddy for that thing. And it's always helpful. Is there anything you want to riff on I said, or should I move on?
Move on.
Move on. So when we're out of phase with the wood element frequency, we can feel really hopeless. We can be stuck. We can be mad at ourselves because we're not have you ever said, I don't have the willpower. I can't make myself do it. That's one of the things. But also it can just be an inertia or a lack of movement. It doesn't have to be extreme. We can become very critical of ourselves and others when our wood is out of balance. We procrastinate, arrive late, are out of time and rhythm with natural events, and are unable to take pause or allow for silence. So people can get making poor decisions. We can get into depression when our wood elements is way out of balance. So what we're going to do today is go through some questions, and as you answer them, you're going to answer them yourself. Timothy and I will also answer them too. We're going to do a repatterning. So you're going to answer the questions and look at where you're at. And then we're going to look at where you want to be. And then we're going to do a modality to get you resonating and in alignment with that intention or goal. How's that sound, guys?
Sounds really good to me. It's Heidi and I talked after last week with the water, and we're like, how can we do this a little differently? And I just love the adjustments we're making. Thank you.
Thank you, Timothy, for your alignment with that and helping me with that. So I'm going to read a short thing and then we'll jump into the questions. So if you don't have a pen and paper, I would advise you grab one now, grab some water and pen and paper. We're going to dive in. So the power of goals set us in motion, because the principle that one system in motion affects another system in motion, we can expect a response, our movement towards our goals, in the form of unplanned, unexpected, and unpredictable events. These synchronicities events often pass us by unnoticed, or if we do notice them, we might view them as an interference to be resisted, because these obstacles seem to interfere with the achievement of our goal. When we are in phase with our wood element energy, we are aware of and appreciate the power of these serendipitous events. We respond to them positively because we recognize that they are drawing us beyond our small, planned goal to a greater plan of self-realizing our potential as a human being. So the first thing we're going to do is empty some trash. So I want you to just bullet point what you're angry about. And it could be from when you're 5 years old, or it could be what you're angry about right now. Angry or frustrated. What do you feel angry about?
We need a little music.
I can play some music.
Yeah. We haven't done that before.
Yeah. So if you do the work, it works if you work it. That's a saying we have in recovery. You don't have to filter this because we're not going to make you share. You can share if you want to.
Kata-kata manis cinta terlalu singkat, terlalu panjang. Masih sayang lagi tak denganmu. Dan terlalu lama rinta.
One of our guests said, let's listen to The Cure. So I've made a little list. I think that was enough time for people to make a list. I love The Cure. And The Cure definitely, sometimes when I'm in the mood that Heidi's talking about, The Cure is a good catalyst for me to explore my anger, or my resentment, or my distress.
Yeah. So does anyone want to share? I'm willing to share a few things that I feel frustrated or angry about. Anybody want to type it in the chat box? You're welcome to. No pressure. Do you want to share anything, Timothy?
I just want to say that if you're doing this later, so it's not live, because most of the people who follow what is now called real life talk, or before recovery talk, most of the people who follow it after it's live. And so please go ahead and pull out your pen and paper and do the bullet points and follow along. Heidi almost always gives us, I say almost just to be human, gives us really good processes and tips, and I get a lot out of them. So go ahead, Heidi.
Okay. So, I was, I'm having a great day, you guys, because I can usually immediately identify anger, but I'm just feeling a lot of hope today, which hasn't been a lot lately. So let's just celebrate that for a moment. um, so I get angry and frustrated about making decisions. So the wood element has showed up a lot in my life. I'm one of those people that'll just stay stuck and I'll obsess about getting it right or doing it right. And I thought I would bring that up because that what I just read, one system in motion gets another system in motion. And it has been my experience with my stuckness in life and my inability to, or my desire to not make decisions out of being fearful of not making the right decision. Those are non-sober behaviors for me, because I know that there are, in my spiritual beliefs, I know that there are no wrong decisions, that one thing leads me to the next thing, to the next thing. And even, if it feels like it's wrong for some reason, I'm learning and moving and growing. But when I stay stuck, I get more and more and more and more miserable. So I'm not in any way saying make snap decisions and be non-coherent in that. But I'm saying if you have been in a stuck place for a long time, go ahead and have some movement by making a decision and moving forward in one direction or the other. And you can always course correct along the way. How about you? You want to share any of the things you're angry about or frustrated about?
Yeah, they're all self-induced is what I'm realizing, besides two, which I'm not going to get into because I want to respect people's privacy. So two things involve other people, and I'm looking at them and it's like, all I can really do with those two things is come to patience, acceptance, empathy for myself and the others, and surrender it to higher power. However, the other things, which are in line with what Heidi was saying, overspending. I do it sometimes, meaning run up debit card or credit card. Taxes, got to get it done. Driver's license, got to get it done. Passport application, need to get it done. So I just looked at it and went, all right, which one's the most important? And it's like, I'm already on the savings program, going to stay on that. The taxes is second, the driver's license is third, passport's fourth. So I feel like you helped me out already just by creating a priorities list. But I notice inside of me, there is a stuckness, there's a resistance, I don't want to do this. This isn't fun. It requires focus, a kind of focus that I don't like. I love focusing on things that I enjoy, kayaking, clients, reading a good book, dancing. Love to focus on cooking. But man, these things, almost all of them involve the government. I have a little resentment sometimes, and I also have appreciation for the government.
Can I offer a little reflection? I noticed that when you have talked about past relationships or that feeling of not having freedom or doing things from obligation, that brings out kind of the rebel in you or wanting to act out. So I'm kind of hearing that in with the taxes, like it's not something many of us choose, like, woohoo, we're on board with this, right? It's kind of an obligation we have for living in this country or doing. And so it might trigger that piece of you.
Yeah, my trigger goes like this. When Bezos, Buffett, and all the rest of them pay 50% on every dollar they make, I'll be glad to pay 20 cents on my dollar. But right now, the fact that I pay close to 28 to 35, and those guys are getting away with 11 or 14. Hello, sorry, this is my opinion. It is based on fact.
So I'm hearing a need for fairness too, and equality.
And then it's like, I'm all in.
Yeah.
Whereas when it's not fair, when it's rigged against the middle class and the poor people, yeah, my rebel gets really strong, as Heidi's saying. But you got to do your taxes.
So that
Help
was
me
a
out
perfect
here, Heidi.
segue. Okay, so the perfect segue, Timothy, is that we're looking at what attitude is keeping us stuck. So Timothy's, I'm just playing with what he was saying. I'm not saying this is it, but like it could be I don't want to do it because it's not fair, or, you know, my money isn't going where I want it to go. So think about what you wrote down that you're angry about, and then think about the attitude that's keeping you stuck in limitation or non-growth in meeting that goal. So it could be like, I am stuck and unable to follow where spirit leads me. That could be an attitude. The means, however limiting, justify the end, like I just have to do this, I'm obligated. Those are attitudes that can keep us stuck or limited. So think about, what is the attitude in regards to what you wrote down that's keeping you stuck or limited? I think for me, my attitude, is my fear of that. If I make a decision, it'll be the wrong one. And if I make the wrong one, everything will be bad. I mean, that's my limiting attitude about making decisions. Yeah. Do you want to share anything?
For me, it's what we kind of discussed. I just wrote it down a little differently. And, you know, I go into procrastination. That's the action that I go into because I feel resentful of the unfairness, or sometimes it's simply the tediousness. You know, it reminds me almost of like having to show all your work in elementary school when you do it. You knew how to do it, but no, you had to show every single step of every single problem on all 26 problems, which were all exactly the same. And sometimes I just feel, oh, that's what it is. It's authority. So authority triggers me often into a state of resentment and feeling obligated. And so then I procrastinate.
Beautiful self-awareness. You guys see how he did that? Boom, boom, boom. That's what he helps his clients do too. Figure out what's underneath so we can get past it. So I would love it if any of you on the call are willing to post what your negative belief or attitude is, or just, chat with us, say anything, ask us questions. And thank you for being on here. And Karen, I want to give a shout out to you because you're such a loyal listener. We always love having you here. It makes me happy and smile to see your name. So next question is, what negative belief do you have about yourself that keeps you stuck? If I'm thinking
and again,
of
we're
goals,
in the wood element. I got it.
Yeah, so feeling stuck in the wood element. So I'm thinking of goals, and the first thing that popped up for me, what negative belief do I have about myself that keeps me stuck, is that I won't stick to it. And that's probably around eating, because I love to eat really clean, and I'm always visioning and imagining it. And there's been years I do it and I love the results, and then there's years I don't do it, and I'm kind of in that dichotomy of I want to be doing it, but I'm not making the effort to take care of myself in that way. And so that judgment of I won't stick to it pops up.
Yeah, I think for me, it's something around it's not important, and so it doesn't deserve my attention. But the negative belief that's underneath that is, I don't know. I'm at a loss. I'm trying to relate it to what I was saying. I've got negative beliefs that come up from time to time. One of the ones I've been working on lately is that in order to have what I want, I have to overpower the situation or force. And then the negative belief underneath that is that people don't respect me. I'm not being heard. My voice doesn't matter, something like that. So it's kind of more back to water now, and not so much in the wood thing. But in the wooden thing, when it comes to procrastination, I guess the negative belief would be simply I'm lazy.
So you guys think about your belief. What negative belief do you imagine you have about yourself that keeps you stuck? So we have a couple comments here. I have been trying to figure that out most of my life. And that I am not good or would, ha ha ha, enough because I was never good enough in my mom's eyes as well. So, having that reflection of not being seen good enough by your primary caregiver or by your woman that you wanted attention from as a child. And there's a lot of tenderness. So I just want to offer some compassion around that. Like, of course, we have a reflection of ourselves that was reflected to us by others for so long. And so this gives us an opportunity for a new reflection.
I really feel you. Try to get the name right. Can I say Gabriella? That's the second name. Yeah, and our parents often are doing the best they can. I know my dad was, but when he left the family system, I picked up this idea that I was not good enough, not important, unlovable. And then I sought out examples of where that was true. And that created patterns which ended up proving that thought true. And in reality, I was part of a cycle. I'm not saying this is what you're doing, but that's how that internalized belief related in my life and in mostly my relationship area, seeking to be loved rather than loving myself.
Yes, Gabriella is fine. Thank you. All right. So next question. When you say the negative belief that's keeping you stuck, what body position would represent that? So if you were to actually get into a body position that represents that, I want you to do it, whether it's on the floor or on the couch or however you would be doing. Now I'm trying to remember my negative belief because I already forgot it. Oh, what did I say? So I was going to give you guys an example of the body position.
I'm doing mine. I'm lazy.
Okay. So the negative belief that you have about yourself that keeps, that I won't stick to it. I guess it's more frazzled for me, like I'm not going to stick to it. So I want you to physically get into it. And the reason for this is neural pathways in our brain. So we are rewiring you right now that you don't have to do this, because get in the position and think about how you feel when you're in that. What's your feeling, Timothy, when you're in that position?
Oh, it's more than lazy. I'm slumped over. I'm tired. I don't want to do it. It's a feeling of despair.
So when we have these unconscious things going on and we're bringing them to consciousness right now, this can be a posture people pick up on. We're not running around like that, but they can feel that energy. So part of us that's showing up in the world is showing up in this posture. So I want you to think about, we're going to redo the posture, but I really want you to feel that. I want you to get into whatever posture it is and identify the feeling of a part of you that's showing up in those goals. So this is kind of what is in the way of us achieving those goals, is this part of our posture that's underneath, and we're gonna get rid of that. So do your body position, and then you can pull yourself out of it. And we're gonna again counterbalance that. So you can make this smaller, or you can go with the bigger vision. So the question is, what is your vision for your life? You can either answer that, or you can answer, what is one goal you'd like to be in alignment with achieving? And I'm going to pick the goal of really caring for myself with what I put into my body. So I'm going to write that into the chat box and just put it out into the universe. So I encourage you guys, if you have a goal or a vision, to also type it in the chat box and put it out into the universe. So I am in full alignment with paying attention to and taking care of what I put inside my body. Sent to the universe.
Awesome. And mine is completion in a timely manner of my goals, the ones I've mentioned today. No procrastination, the opposite, just doing it, completing it, timely manner. I'm still with the body posture thing. You know, it's like, yeah, okay, it feels like that, kind of lazy, but exhausted, resistant, you know, what did I say? In despair. And when I come out of it and bring myself back into the center, I can feel the resistance to doing these things. And I'm recognizing I just need to lean into the resistance and maybe get an accountability partner, schedule it, and begin. And I'm almost positive once I begin each of these tasks, the momentum will carry me forward. So it's almost like leaning into a strong wind, feeling that resistance in me, acknowledging it. I'm not trying to change it. And I'm going to lean in, and paying attention to my body posture when I'm doing it is probably a good idea.
I love it. I love it. So we're going to go into the next body posture right now. So when you write down your vision, like I wrote that I am in full alignment with paying attention and taking care of what I put inside my body. And Timothy wrote completion in a timely manner of my goals. So let's get into the body position that we would be in if that was true. And I think I would be standing up because I'd be feeling pretty nice in my body. I might be moving, feeling playful and light and energized and full of vitality. So yeah, my body position, standing up and moving and kind of feeling my body.
And mine is open. I'm seated because I'm getting this stuff done, and this stuff requires a computer. So I'm open though. My hands are uncrossed. My legs are uncrossed. My feet are flat on the floor. I'm sitting a little bit forward, and I can tell I'm hydrated, fed, rested. I'm going to do it.
Nice.
Shoulders back.
So we love if anybody wants to type their goal in the chat box, and then you get into the body position that if you were living into that goal, what body position would that be? And then the second step with the body position is, what are the feelings you have when you're in that body position? So like I mentioned, I was standing up, moving, feeling my body, and I felt vital and energized and more of a happy feeling, vibrant. So let's hear some more of those goals. If you want to type them in the chat box, we'd love to read them off and put them into the universe. So I want you to think about what you have of your vision in the present. What parts do you already have? And maybe you have none. Maybe you have some.
I know for me, I've done some work on the taxes. I'm ready to put it all together. I've got all the pieces. So I've done that. I have a good tax person. If you want his name and you're in California, that's where he works. Just message me and I'll be glad to pass on his name. And then even with the other things, I know the papers that I need. I have the papers that I need. It's just about going down to the DMV, and the other one just about doing the work and then the post office. So I feel like I have plans. The plans are actually in place, or all the materials are there. It's simply a matter of action.
So we're looking at two things. First, we're looking at what we have of it. So I'm thinking of mine. What do I have of the vision of being in alignment with what I put into my body? I have the education of what makes me feel really good. I have the know-how of having done it before. I have the resources of buying it on the island or getting food from local farmers. And so I have the resources of that. The second question is what don't you have of your vision in the present? So we're looking at what do we have already and what are we missing? And I think I'll give an example of what I'm missing is creating time to actually put the food together that I want to be eating. And I'm missing the willpower right now, the like full desire to say yes and make that decision. That's my
I'm missing the willpower as well, and we call that discipline, self-discipline. I have the time, but it's about, discipline, willpower, making the time and actually doing it at that time. But I do also want to acknowledge that there are a lot of areas that I have willpower and discipline, and I can see it. So I don't consider myself someone who has an addictive habit with alcohol, but I had a couple of friends just point out to me that how they felt about alcohol from their own past stuff. And I love them so much more than my use of alcohol that I'm giving up alcohol for a while, just so they can feel more comfortable around me, and because they matter more to me than having a drink every once in a while. And I feel really good about that. So that's helping me right now as I say it, go, oh, wow, Timothy, you have a lot of willpower. You can do these simple things, just recognize you've got it. You've got the willpower.
I think it's so important what you just said, Timothy, that just because in one area of our life we see what we don't have, you can draw on it from looking at where you have it in other areas of your life. So in looking at what is your goal or your vision, what do you have of it? What are you missing? And then the third thing we're going to do is list the actions you need to do that would bring your goal or vision into fruition. So the specific actions, which Timothy kind of jumped ahead and already answered all that because he's super smart and he didn't need to go through my template. Super self-aware.
I have a tendency to reverse engineer. Yeah, reverse engineer.
Yeah.
Empathy first, Timothy.
If you knew, I can relate this to sobriety because I failed at sobriety more than anything else I've failed at in life. Trying to quit alcohol was hell for me, and I tried and failed and tried and failed and tried and failed. So I'm thinking of something that we just don't have much hope that we can achieve. That was one of them for me. And the question that I used to ask myself when I finally was able to achieve abstinence, which was my goal, was to be sober. Every single thing I did, every single thing I did, I ran past this question. Is this bringing me closer to sobriety, or is this decision taking me further away? And that's black and white how I made my decisions. So you guys can apply that as a tool. Is what I'm going to do right now, make a phone call instead of sit and do my taxes, or eat some pizza rather than make a salad for myself. Is what I'm going to do right now going to support my goal and vision, or is it going to take me farther away from my goal and vision? And we can start with that simple check-in question just to have ourselves accountable.
Yeah, that's really good. Am I moving away from where I want to be, or am I moving towards it? Heidi said something similar just a second ago, and it's so good. I just realized I did move very masculinely. I moved right away to my strategy, which now we're at the end. Like, what are the ways in which I'm going to achieve this goal of getting these things done? And I and Heidi both skipped over empathy with ourselves. And I can feel my little one, let's call him my little one, really frustrated and angry with school systems and authority and having to do things that he didn't feel were necessary or that just weren't fun. And feeling like he needed to do that and be a good boy to get approval, as one of our people that are on was pointing out earlier. And I just personally want to slow down a little and, put a hand on my heart and on my belly. And we're talking through some things, but this is tough stuff. And I definitely have some feelings coming up around not being good enough or that I'm even talking live about taxes and driver's license and passport and debt, that here I am at 55 and this is what I'm working on. I've got self-talk in my head that's not great. It's not horrible, but it's not great. And I just want to bring some love to my own self, that it's okay. I'm human. I'm getting better every year at paying attention to the details. I've been really good at it in the past. I can be really good at it in the future. But ultimately, just that telling my little one, it's okay. You are good enough. Yes, we don't like doing these things, and we are going to do them, and we'll do them as painlessly as possible. Thank you, Heidi, for being with me.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you slowed down. I know that when I'm with clients, I can really drop into that and be present. And so I just love that you gave an example of self-sourcing and taking a moment to realize what's arising. Because, when we are looking at our goals and we're looking at what we're not meeting in a way we want to, those tender parts of us can come up. And I so appreciate that you shared that vulnerable part of yourself that might be judged, and what he was really needing is to know that it's okay and that he has done fine and that he's loved.
And he's going to get to play again real soon.
You get to play again.
And we can still get the taxes done and still play. I like what Gabriella just brought out, and whether you believe in astrology, the influence of the stars and planets on our life or not, for those of us or people who do, she said, I believe due to current planetary positions, most of us are lacking willpower these days, some for a week, some for more. I definitely have been feeling much more drained and unmotivated lately with my tasks and goals. So I am taking it easy these days without forcing it. And I love the wisdom in that, whether you're into astrology or not. It really resonates with me of, I am going to get this done. And at the same time, if I sit here at my desk for 3 hours and I'm just beating my head against my laptop and I'm not moving forward with it, probably better that I take a nap or go for a walk or drink some water or do something else and not force it. So I like that wisdom.
I love that was brought up too. And today I was in one of those days. I had some clients this morning, and then I had a window of time in which I needed to do paperwork and homework. And I can procrastinate. I always get it done every week on time, but I procrastinate. And I was just spinning. My head was in a fog. I was kind of spinning. And instead of forcing myself, I went for a 4-hour drive with my beloved, and we chatted, and I got to rest and not drive. And when I got back, I was much more energized to get done what I needed to do. So I love that. And I actually practiced it today. I want to read some of these other comments. We're getting
I
some
was going to say, read Jamie's.
Here.
Yeah.
So, I was going to read Karen's first. I would be a white owl gliding and offering protection for anyone that is sad. I love that. I think I am on my own tangent with your teachings. I love it. I love that.
I feel your white owl. Looking out for all of us.
Yeah. And then Jamie's, my goal is to love myself so fully with the love I give and seek from others, reclaiming soul fragments fully, from survival to thriving. My position is a warrior stance with my arms above my head, my feet firmly rooted beneath me. What I think is missing is being okay with how peaceful life's becoming and the dynamics of relationships are changing. I find myself wanting to shake things up, yet that's a trauma response. Oops, I lost it. Are you there, Timothy?
Yeah, that's a trauma response. I don't care to keep repeating. Mastery of things are coming together. Man, Jamie, I am so on it with you. Like what your mirror reflecting my life right now. And I just want to be a sacred mirror with you. I love the wisdom in noticing our past habitual patterns and how we can often project them onto the future. And I hear you going, nope, not going to do that. Going to be self-loving, going to change the moment living so that my future, my now is all of the beautiful things that you said. So thank you so much. I do like what you say later on
And
down
hi,
as we were
Teresa.
talking. Teresa's with us. Oh, yes. And also Noreen, thank you for jumping in. But Jamie says later down, when we're
Yay,
talking about like having to do these things all by ourselves, it can feel lonely sometimes. Sitting and doing taxes is not like a fun, playful, interactive sport. So thank you, Jamie, for that.
And if you jumped on the call late, we went through a whole little series of questions. So go back and listen so you can do the self-work later today or whenever you want. And again, share this with your friends for the replay. I think that, is there any more comments we're missing? I want to make sure we don't miss anybody.
Yeah, Jamie says, thank you for your honesty.
It resonates with me. I appreciate you both and providing the safe space to touch on these things. Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. We appreciate your participation and love hearing you guys. So now we're going to do the exciting part. We did a little repatterning all through the way with the body positions, but we're going to look at doing a modality now together that shifts us to be resonating with our goals and to move out of the way those negative beliefs we brought up and the body position that kept us limited, the attitude that kept us limited, and then really resonating with being in alignment with doing the actions that meet our goals. And I think self-compassion, I need to add into that whole practice, which Timothy brought up, because so important. I can sometimes be a task master of change. and Love Coach Academy and Timothy and people that I've been surrounded with really remind me to slow down and have that love and self-compassion and to be less of a taskmaster. I just, like things to happen fast and yesterday. And
so you're having a great day. You owned that at the beginning. You're having a really great day. So, yeah. All right, let's do this.
So let's look at it. Let's do it. Let's do a wood modality. Get in alignment with our wood. So let me look at what we're going to do as a group. And we're going to do a point here on the chin. So it's where your little dent is here on the chin. I want you to take your left pointer finger and put it there. That's called the receiving fluid. It's a meridian point they use in Chinese acupuncture. Then you're going to take your middle finger on your other hand and place it right at the top of your spine. Other spine. Just kidding. So now we're going to take this even deeper. So you're holding the top of your spine right in that little dent in your neck under the occipital bone. And then you have your pointer finger here. And we're all going to close our eyes and you're going to allow your body, it's called Katsugen, just to move and unwind and rebalance while you're holding those points in any way that feels natural to you. You can stand up, you can be sitting down, you can lie down. Really listening into your body's wisdom of how it might like to move. Nice deep breaths, holding these points. So for those of you that don't know what we're doing with the repatterning or changing what we're tuned into, it's just like a television. Whatever the TV's tuned into, that's what shows up on the screen. And all you have to do is take the remote control and push a button. It completely changes what shows up on the screen. That's the principle that we're using right now, is having identified our limiting beliefs and postures, and then having identified our goals and visions. We are shifting to resonate with our goals and visions.
I feel better already. I don't know what just happened, but that was good.
It's so funny. We shifted at the same time. And I was just going to say, your body will kind of sometimes take a deep sigh and know when it's able to stop. And you just listen to that. Timothy and I wound down at the same time. It's so funny. Let's just take some nice integrating breaths. A few moments of silence. When you're ready, you can open your eyes and just open the mouth and jaw. You might wiggle your fingers and toes or give a little stretch. So thank you for being with us on Real Life Talk. We are going to continue these repatternings through the elements. We might have a break or so, not a break on the talk, but have an interview. We have somebody exciting we're going to bring to you and kind of shake it up a little bit. And so we're here every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Hawaii time, and whatever time zone you're in, you can figure it out with Pacific Standard Time. And also wanted to let you know that you can reach out to Timothy or I. We both offer complimentary strategy sessions. They're about 20 to 30 minutes, and we just get really clear with you. It's a chance for you to get to know us and us to get to know you and see where you're wanting to go and if it's a fit for us to work together. So please take us up on that. You can find our numbers on our websites. And anything you want to say in closing, Timothy?
Yeah, those intake sessions, people, whether they work with one of us or not, they almost always walk away with something beneficial. So give it a try.
All right. Thanks for being with us tonight, and share with your friends. Mahalo.
Mahalo.